Hey guys, and welcome to another recent viewing video, and also welcome back to all this skin on this face. Bet you didn't know that was up underneath there. Yeah, I decided to shave the other day, not because I want to go back to this, but because it was time to stop being lazy and start like sculpting the kind of beard that I prefer to have, as opposed to the just hair. Anyway, enough about the beard. Let's talk about the movie that I watched tonight, and that was Zootopia. Finally got around to watching something that I had bought recently. It seems like I might buy 10, 15, even 20 movies before I actually sit down and just watch one of them. But I've been wanting to watch Zootopia for a while. It's playing at work on our TVs, and I was afraid that I would just kind of get so many bits and pieces to it that watching the movie wouldn't be fun. So I was like, I'm going to sit down and watch it tonight. And I really had a good time with it, as I expected to. I feel like I have a pretty good eye for the Disney slash Pixar slash DreamWorks slash Sony slash Blue Sky Entertainment, or whoever it is that I think did like Rio and some other movies. Anyway, I feel like I have a pretty good beat on which ones of those movies are really going to do it for me, and I'd heard nothing but good stuff about Zootopia, and now that I finally watched it for myself, I'm in agreement. It was really, really good. It was entertaining. It had its funny moments, and it was definitely a movie filled with a lot of adult type themes, without being too overly mature for kids. But I will say I was somewhat taken aback by some of the depictions of like violence and menacing like aggression. And then of course there was the movie's messages about drug use, substance abuse, and like what are the words I'm trying to think of here? Like relations between, I guess you could say, race relations or anything like that. Only in this movie, of course, it was predators and prey, as they call them. It was just interesting how they kind of threw all these different ideas together in a movie that was for kids, but that was loaded with mature themes. But it was a really good movie. Now, of course, it being a cartoon and it being just Hollywood fiction, it got from A to B in really direct and convenient kinds of ways. I thought maybe it was a little bit weak in that regard, whereas it had a character, a rabbit who was like the first ever rabbit to be a police officer in this world, and she was having to solve this case, and it could have been a really interesting and intriguing like mystery where they actually could have followed the steps and the clues and whatnot. It kind of just slapped one thing onto the next and onto the next very, very conveniently. So I give it a pass because it's a kids movie, but I thought that they could have tried to make it a little deeper than that. But anyway, I guess I should mention a little bit more about the story. Zootopia is this gigantic city, think like New York or whatever, for animals. In this world, animals have evolved to a point where the predators no longer chase after the prey. They all live in somewhat peace and harmony, but like any perfect situation, things at the base level aren't that perfect, and they aren't that cut and dry. People still have their issues, there's still conflict, there is still prejudices and whatnot, but people make the best of it and live their lives. And that seemed to be a big a message that the movie had, was just to kind of say that not everything is flowers and sunbeams and perfect harmony, but people make do and try to be better people And that seemed to be kind of like one of the stories that was going on in this movie. But it was, like I said, it was really overt at times, just the way they were presenting, drug abuse and corruption and, different things like that. There was a scene where, as it started, I was like, gosh, this seems like a really direct homage to Breaking Bad in a Disney kids animated movie. And then later in that very same scene, somebody said something about Walter and Jesse being here, and I was like, I haven't even seen an episode of Breaking Bad, and I already know that everything in that was a play off of Breaking Bad and cooking meth and distributing meth. And I was like, woo, man, when some of these reviews that I saw that were non-spoiler reviews were talking about this, yeah, they were right on. But that's good. I mean, like I said, it's kind of direct without being super direct. But maybe if kids are watching this, they will hopefully get the message. So anyway, like I said, I really, really enjoyed Zootopia. I thought it was really, really good, really, really entertaining. It's been a while since I've come across, as I said before, a Disney or Pixar or DreamWorks movie or whatever that I didn't like. Zootopia was definitely up there with the ones that I really enjoyed. So I just thought I would sit down here and document my thoughts as I always do, and this time I didn't wait a day or a week or 2 weeks later. So yeah, Zootopia, I would definitely recommend it. So thanks guys for watching. We'll see you next time.